From the center of the galaxy, this is the ForceCenter podcast feed. We're a show about Star Wars, pop culture, the ultimate adventure, old life itself. I'm Cut Napsa.
I'm spry young Joseph Scrimshaw. Damn it. We are not old.
Damn it, indeed. I knew I was going to be micro-obsessed with my headroom today. God. Gotta have headroom like a newscaster, kids. We are going to welcome everyone to our live news show. You might be watching or listening later. If you are, hey, let us know. Leave a like, leave a comment if you're part of the Watch Later crew. We appreciate that. For those live, happy you're here. We are going to be diving into the Mandalorian and Grogu final trailer. That is the focus of today. Doesn't mean we're not going to take a little swing through Maul Shadow Lord, just give our first reactions, be ahead of our deep dive tomorrow, and catch up on life, the universe, and everything. And Joseph, blessed to see you here in video, but more blessed to have seen you in person over the weekend. How are you?
Good. Apologies, I was running late. Some life stuff that not a problem, just life that might come up in our discussion about protecting the young, protecting the old. Anyway, yeah, it was great to see you, and I hope that you had a great birthday weekend. I mean, let's not bury the lead. You had a big birthday, and it seems like you made the most of it.
Yeah, I did. I had a celebration that kind of began with a live stream on my show, The Blathering, on Thursday night, and so many people showed up for that, and we're so generous and loving, and then just kind of took it into the weekend. Had a nice celebratory Italian dinner in the heart of historic Laurel Canyon. And on Friday night, nice romantic little dinner. Then a gathering. I didn't know what. Last year I was like, I'm gonna record a comedy special. I'm gonna do this, and maybe in another life I would have done that if I hadn't lost my job and life changed everything. So instead, I invited. It ended up being well over 50 people to the house. You and Sarah among them, and it was just wonderful just to kind of have a "This Is Your Life," but in my own backyard in my fire pit.
It was a great "This Is Your Life," and because I have been blessed to meet lots of folks through you, there were a lot of people that I hadn't seen in like 7 years. So there was a lot of like, "Hey, it's you," which was really fun and nice. Not in an angry,
I know you.
Not like a supervillain thing, but wow, we haven't talked in a while. It was very, very fun.
Mm-hmm. No, honored to have you all here. So that was kind of life adventures for me. We'll handle the ad read in a second. I want to know how your life adventures are doing.
Good, just fine. There's a lot going on. Personal stuff, career stuff, just lots going on, and mostly stuff that I can't talk about. But it was definitely it was a week of highs and lows, and it was a week where Star Wars helped me out. My wife and I have started rewatching The Mandalorian, which we're going to include Book of Boba Fett as well. And I haven't watched that first season of the Mando show in quite a while. And I remember my favorite moments. I remember like the big picture ideas, but in particular, last night we watched Chapter 3, The Sin, directed by Deborah Chow. And the amount that sets up about the covert in the philosophy of the Mandalorians and the sort of pressure points, and man, it's really, really, really good. And it was such a nice reminder to be like, none of us here are fans of the John and Dave are just playing with their action figures, just doing the best of, like, Favreau made up all of this stuff about this version of the Mandalorians, about this Death Watch group, this Death Watch cult, and the goods and the bads of it, and the way it was laid out in the honor and the ceremony and the little bit of creepy vibes too. It's all in that it's baked into that one episode. It's so well done, and it made me so excited for the film to just remind myself, like, what a deep lore, deep well of love and lore and concepts Favreau is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as he's going around starting the press publicity, the tour stuff is kind of picking up speed. More interviews today. I have to catch up on just his love of storytelling, filmmaking, and I really appreciate so far. And I'm sure it'll come up on our trailer discussion day that he's just been open about, New Hope is what changed my world, and here's the things about that actually connected with me, and I'm going to try to bring that here, and I think he always has. And the fully realized world of the Mandalorian within a larger world, of course, is one of the drawing points. And I'm going to start a rewatch here soon too. You getting me excited for that?
Awesome. We have some cheerleading. Starting a little late to get all the seasons in before the movie, but we believe in you, Joseph. I believe in myself and my wife. We can have two episode nights, 3-episode Saturday morning. We'll do it. I believe in us.
Yeah, you could get through seasons in like three nights, right? I think you can. I can.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if nothing else in life is going on.
What else is going on in the whole entire world? Yeah.
What else indeed? Hey, before we take any steps further, don't forget that our show's brought to you by our merch shop on Fourth Wall. Check out the merch shop there. Get a t-shirt to help support and represent ForceCenter out in the galaxy. Maybe get one in time for Star Wars Celebration 2027. You have time to. You have a year. You have a year to get it. New items have always been added in the past, and more will be on the way. If you need something specific, just let us know. We'll add it to the shop. Head over to forcecenter-shop.fourthwall.com. Don't forget, we also have a merch shop on TeePublic, too, if you'd like to pick something up over there. We are also racing towards a new goal, new refocused goal over on Patreon, which is tied into the movie we'll be talking today.
Yeah, is right. We are trying to get to 400 paid subscribers by the time the release of Mandalorian and Grogu over on our Patreon. I know it's a difficult time for everyone, but if you can spare $2 a month, you get into our Patreon. You get access to the Discord. You get to ask some questions. You get to do some call-ins. Most importantly, you get to be part of a thriving, cool Star Wars talking community. We are staying strong at 384. It was a little jump up from last week, and hey, not a jump up but not a fall down is good progress.
Good progress indeed. We talked about our lives, but now talk a little bit of our first reactions to Maul Shadow Lord episodes 5 and 6. We are going to dive in deep tomorrow. So we're not going to even spend a ton of time on our first reactions here live with all of you today, because there's much to talk about in these excellent episodes. And I think that is my reaction. I watched them this morning. Birthday weekend kind of took a lot out of me, and I had hopes of staying up to watch Maul at midnight, and I fell asleep about 10:30. So watched them this morning over breakfast. And yeah, I think that the hype of these two episodes going around is legitimate. I think these were some great pieces of Star Wars storytelling. And no surprise, Jennifer Corbett's name was listed on the writing credits for at least one of them, right? So, yeah, that was my reaction. Excellent.
Yeah, I stayed up late as I always do. Got started even a little bit later and had a glass of whiskey, some action figure friends, and had my little Star Wars mind blown. Love these episodes, and we will dive deep. I love hey, everything is falling apart. The Empire was a shadow, and now it's a fist. And these episodes are a tribute to stressed out people sighing and holding their head in their hands, which is very relatable to watch people cope with really difficult stuff. There's some laugh out loud funny moments. I like literally, I often don't actually laugh out loud, but I was like, I think I'm at risk of waking up my wife a couple times, because there's some really sharp comedy amidst the horror. But I think in some ways, the biggest thing for me is this was some Star Wars, particularly episode 6, that made me feel like a kid again. Episode 6 by itself is some of the best and my favoriteest Star Wars action I have seen in a long time. It was just so kinetic, so tied to the motions, so inventive. A couple things in there that I'm like, hey, why doesn't a Force user ever do X? I'm like, oh, they did now. Great. It's so good. I just kind of, I felt like a kid, and I was like, it's 1 a.m. so I'm not going to get out a tube of gift wrapping and start making lightsaber noises, but I felt like it after watching those.
Yeah, no, there was a move in there that we'll discuss, but there was a move that I was like, it's taken 50 years to see that. Like, that's amazing that we're here. We got it.
I'm so curious if it's the same one.
It's probably the same one. I won't even spoil. We'll have a conversation about it tomorrow. But I was just, I had my cottage cheese and blueberries because I'm 50 now, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's great Star Wars. It's peak Star Wars is sometimes a weaponized phrase, but they're hitting some peak moments in this series, and we're going to dive in tomorrow. Episode will come out usually late Tuesday, as it does, because we talk so long that the videos are just like, we're not going to export. We're gonna figure out an export schedule. The video's talking to me. Like, we'll tell you when we're ready. But that's because we just have so much fun diving into the series. I think it's one of the best things. Star Wars is done.
Yeah.
End of sentence. Yeah.
Yep. Many great comments in the chat. Molly Damon, love a train fight. Yes, especially when it's lit so insanely beautifully. Obi-Wan Jacoby says, I watched it this morning, but I can't even think of the movie they're talking about right now. There's so many to choose from. Lots of people saying great things about it. We're really excited to talk about it because I think the fantastic action and the beautiful animation is all in service of the story. So we'll be talking about it a ton on Maul and the Curse of Himself tomorrow.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Sorry. David McKay said something about episode 6 opens up with Maul practicing his saber. And I was like, oh, they're doing this because there's no action in these 2 episodes. I love that moment because I might forget to say this about. It reminded me of the villain in Die Hard 2, who's just exercising naked upside down and just this weird, like, I'm the villain and I'm about the villain. It's like Maul's about the villain. So
yes.
I loved everything.
Yes. The first time my wife and I watched Die Hard 2, we watched it. One year we watched Die Hard for Christmas. Yeah, great. And then the next year we watched Die Hard 2. And it's like, thanks for the nice Christmas dinner. Now here's an angry terrorist butt.
Yes.
And I took a photo. And sometimes in my memories it pops up of like, remember when that angry man, naked man, did Tai Chi for Christmas? Remember?
So true. Oh, we should do a Die Hard set. I've loved the first 3. I didn't see anything after 4. Sorry, folks. But anyways, enough Die Hard 2. Let's go ahead and get into our little bit of a Star Wars news. There's more than just the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. We're gonna get to some stuff about tickets and celebration, all stuff too. But Joseph, last week we were able to discuss it a little bit there on the Friday show. A great trailer. The final trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu dropped. What do we got here?
Yeah. Final trailer. We got to talk about it a little bit on our live show and got to hear people's reactions. And it seemed like, in general, the kind of folks who are mostly here with us on the ForceCenter, what I describe as all-in fans, were very excited by the trailer. And we heard from a lot of people who were sort of moved by it, even though, a lot of it was remixed. So I thought it was really impressive that this last trailer made such an emotional punch while also not revealing too much new, in my opinion. So I really wanted to focus on like the ideas and how they made us feel and the why of all that. So let's dive in. Kind of broke it down into chunks of trailer that I thought were dealing with specific kind of ideas. So the trailer starts with Sigourney Weaver's character, Colonel Ward, saying, "We've all heard stories of a Mandalorian bounty hunter and a child," and of course images of Mando and Grogu. How did you feel about the trailer starting that way, of putting Mando and Grogu over as legendary in the galaxy and maybe a little bit in the real world?
I loved it. It's actually one of my favorite parts of the trailer, and I'm very glad and not surprised you focused on this to start, because I thought it was a powerful choice. It works for me just in terms of a marketing thing. It works for me in kind of a larger conversation I sometimes have in pop culture, where sometimes it's hard to crown new things as legendary. It's hard to be like, hey, this album just released by this band is going to stand the test of time. It's going to be here for 100 years. It's just so new, you don't think of it as such. You think you got to go celebrate Led Zeppelin 4. You can go beyond it. There's this artist just released something spectacular. And I think it's easy to overlook new things. And I think Mandalorian and Grogu are Hall of Fame characters. It's 2019 seems like ages ago, but it's a blink of the eye, and it should be celebrated. They should be celebrated for what they did, what they pulled off, and the position they're in. I also think, just in terms of the story in the trailer, this line might be in the film. This might be, Sigourney Weaver's character, Colonel Ward's sitting at a table or telling someone else about it, maybe. But it had openings of Fellowship of the Ring vibes to me. Like, let me tell you the tale of how we got here. And I bought into that. So great vibe. Love the choice.
Yeah, I really like it. And yeah, I don't know if it is a line that will be in the movie, and if so, in what context. I mean, to me, it almost feels like a little bit like we're reaching out to you because you two are, allegedly the best of the best, and I think that's been a part of Mando's journey. It's been really fun to watch these first couple episodes of season 1, and Grief calls him, a legend early on in season 1. And I remember a lot of us talking about like that kind of, do you want to be a legend? What's the good and the bad of that? But it makes this great in-world sense to me of like, yeah, there haven't been as many Mandalorians around, and they're treated legendary. Is there legendary? Every time Mando shows up, somebody's like, "Oh, you're a Mandalorian. Is that Mandalorian armor? Where'd you get that?" And then it is a weird force wielding child, and they've made a lot of noise in the galaxy. So it's totally believable to me. It was like, "Hey guys, heard about this scary ass bounty hunter and the little green dude who can throw crap with his mind?" I mean, it makes sense that in world they're legendary. And I think it is like, remember a lot of us responding to that choice in Force Awakens to have the characters that were legendary to us be legendary in the galaxy. And, Rey's Luke Skywalker, I thought he was a myth. There's something about sort of being in step in the audience with the galaxy that's really powerful, of like all of these emotions and these time that we have invested in these characters is felt by the people in the galaxy. Everybody's like, what's the deal with this guy? Everybody from Zeb, who's an ally, to, the Hutts are like, we're all sitting around thinking about that bounty hunter and that baby, and we're going to do something about it. I really love that vibe.
Yeah, and it scratches a little itch that I had in season 1 and maybe into season 2 that, you remember probably hammering on too much in our reviews of like, okay, there's a lot going on. You telling me no one in the galaxy is like, hey, Leia, Mothma, some dudes out there with some Force kid. I've never really seen him before. Like, I needed that to kind of be recognized that it was, but also just to have the stories. It's a big galaxy to have the stories filter back in this way is exciting. And again, just a great way to, I think, start this final trailer. It is like a voiceover. It's almost the inner world, but for a new style and a new era.
Yeah. Haja says, didn't Grogu also give people hope in the galaxy too? Keep that momentum going and all that. Agree with that. I think it is like, yep. You guys can choose to make a difference kind of thing as well. Next up, we see a montage of baddies, Imperial war criminals, the Hutt twins, Embo, and the reused dialogue from previous trailers from Colonel Ward. This isn't about revenge. It's about preventing another war. So, Ken, how much do you think this movie will be about, the quest for peace? About like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a great line, but
Yes.
It could be more or less focused on is the plot, the machinations of the twins and the Imperial warlords could really be like, we're gonna assassinate, space Archduke Ferdinand. Like, we're on the cusp of something boiling over in the actions of Mando and Grogu will prevent that, or it could be a more general mission statement if we're trying to keep the peace. So, what do you want it to be? Like a concrete plot point?
Yeah. Maybe they can cover that the 2 or 3 failed attempts on Ferdinand just minutes before he was killed and went back out. I love that. History nerd stuff from both of us. I am excited for it as a theme. See if I can make sense of this. I'm excited for this as a theme. Peace. No, this is about preventing war. I think that's a powerful statement that we've already got from the trailers from Sigourney Weaver, like you said. But that it might just be the starting point, and that this is going to be more about the relationship. I mean, obviously it's going to be about relationship with Mandalorian and Grogu, but I think it could just also be because you and I discussed it along with Jennifer over the last few months, even the last year or so. It's about Grogu, it's about Mandalorian, but what can we learn about the characters? So to have this also don't forget there's a state of the galaxy to worry about is exciting to me. I just think I've looked at it a little lesser on the scale. So I want it to have that. I want there to be this, like you said, like go get these folks. Here's the deck of cards, because I don't need them to go into the granular, like it's bad work for a good cause, like that kind of real world kind of conversation. But just go get these bad guys, because if we're not careful, this will happen again. There could be an evil lurking out in the galaxy, just waiting for the opportunity to come back. And I just need it to be vaguely a first order reference. I don't need it to be answering any of those questions, because in the past, Favreau's talked about, hey, a lot of this stuff will be about the situation and the circumstances that led to something like the First Order happening down the line. So kind of paying off that overall, if that makes sense. So I think it's going to be there, but I still expect to be focused on Mando and Grogu.
Yeah, I think so too, and I would be okay with it if it is a general state of the galaxy thing. But I also feel like there's maybe room in this for it to be, it isn't the big threat. It's a threat that is
Hmm.
averted in this film. This film feels so of the mood of A New Hope in particular, that to give Mando and Grogu a victory, that they truly stop something, would be great. And I think, obviously we're going to get a larger conflict with Thrawn, and I don't need it to tie into the First Order, but for
Hmm.
me, um, all of this Mandoverse, I have loved that almost all of the villains, everyone from, Thrawn, all the way down to the Watermonger on Tatooine,
Hmm.
don't want things to change. The people who profit from corruption and other people's pain are like, we like the system,
Hmm.
don't change. And I feel like a story about people, Hutts and warlords starting a conflict because they want to drag the galaxy back to where it was
Hmm.
ties in with Mando and Grogu, because I think their journey is, we've both evolved a lot, but now we need to take that next step of evolution of accepting that we won't always be there for one another. So I think it could, marry nicely that
Hmm.
their journey is also the journey of successfully fighting for the galaxy to have more hope, more kindness, and not be dragged back into pointless corruption and cruelty.
Yeah, you're also setting up a great idea of Stephen Root returning as the watermonger at some of these meetings, and they lowered my water prices. Let's get them.
Yeah, let's talk about Boba Fett and the taxes. Damn it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with you. Hmm.
Yeah. So we can talk about that even a little bit more, because the next section really focuses on this idea of protection. Mando tells Grogu to put his armor on. Colonel Ward says, we're protecting everything the rebellion fought for. And I believe she's talking to Mando directly. What happens when you're not there to protect him, meaning Grogu? So it's another kind of moment in the trailer where Din's instinct to protect Grogu, Grogu's need to wear armor and protect himself, is sort of combined with the larger stakes mission of protecting the galaxy. Mando isn't just doing these jobs for money like he did back in the day, or to provide for the Mandalorians in hiding. He's doing this out of honor and to show Grogu the way to walk through the world with honor. So I'm really interested in this idea of tying Grogu's protection to the same idea of protecting the whole galaxy. How do you feel about that?
No, I think that's a great point, and it's probably something that we'll want to pull out, even if it's not explicit. But I think it just might be explicit. We're going to get into a little bit of that generational exchange and re-exchange that's going on in the trailer. But that would kind of make sense to me to have be like, let's look at especially the galaxy where it is right now in this time. And I know the timeline can sometimes seem a little fuzzy with this show and these characters, and I'm fine with that. But just like I still think it's really smart if you're going to continue Star Wars storytelling after 1983 in terms of going forward in the timeline, that Dancing with Ewoks is can't just be the end of it. It's got to be something else, and it's got to be something bigger. And going back to what you're saying of the criminal underworld or just that kind of thing. I mean, especially we're seeing we're going on what's going on in Maul, how it's all connected. It's all kind of a rotten core on a foundation we're trying to build better. So leaving a better world behind for the galaxy and for him, I think is a very important theme. It's conversations a lot of us are having in the real world, and hopefully some of your older family members get it. Most don't. Most don't. So I think it'll be an important theme.
Yeah. And I swear I will start paying a penalty after saying, when I was rewatching the first season of Mando, but I was struck about how much Mando had the I'm watching out for my covert, but other than that, this isn't my problem, and I'm not getting involved. He's trying to drop Grogu off. He tries to get rid of him, on the krill farming village. The first time that Grief Karga says, hey, if you're upset about Imperial presence on Navarro, just call the New Republic. And Mando's like, joke. What a joke.
Right.
So I feel like it is part of Mando's journey to go, hey, the same way I adopted the responsibility of watching after this child, I can step up and have a responsibility to the galaxy as well. And I think I'll be curious if it's just a trailer thing or how much the movie really does connect the idea of that same amount of love and value and protection that I gave to Grogu and the reward I got back. Should I be giving that to the galaxy? You know, and a great message for right now of what if more of us saw the world like many of us see a child, a precious thing to be protected.
Yes. I really like where you're going with this. Yeah, and again, I'm also like, man, it also could just be a trailer line and you and I are already having fun connected, but it's Star Wars. This is what we wanted to do. We wanted to speak on the real world, even though it's not always necessarily a one-to-one connection with the real world. But you reminded me just hearing this about Din's journey. You're right, of where he starts. I'm here for me, and then I'm here for me and now mine, but that's about it. And then that grows and that changes. That's not unlike having conversations with folks in your family who are like, oh, all of it being the news and politics and culture, all of it's too much. I just want to take care of the people around me. And it's like, well, part of that then is leaving a better world or building a better world for them when you're gone, right? It isn't just about my needs, direct needs being met. That is helpful and important. But if the everything around me is a little better, that helps me too. So think of the bigger picture, and I think Din Djarin has gone on that trail. And Jon Favreau, I think he's inserted a lot of his beliefs, I think, into the Mandalorian and Boba Fett and all the stuff. Like some of the stuff you and I like about season 3, I'd say, is Jon being overtly political in his own space fantasy way, almost as if he had turned to his old buddy and said, "Vince, you're a good guy. You care about friends around you, but who you're associating with actually does affect all of us if you're not careful. Think beyond just those connections in yourself." Maybe.
I think you've hit on the most important theme of Mandalorian. Of this is all just trying to reach out to Vince from top to bottom. Come on, Vince.
You used to be money, baby, and you used to tell me I was money, baby, but now you're too much money, baby.
You know what's money? Caring about others, Vince. Yeah, I think there's also like a Din is so we used to all have kind of fun and jokes about like each season he was like, this is my one mission and I tell it to everybody. I'm bringing him to the Jedi. Now I need to get my honor back because I took off my helmet. Like here's my mission today, and I will tell anybody who asks me like I'm a video game NPC. His mission now is to show Grogu how to walk through the galaxy, how to be a good Mandalorian and therefore a good person. So Din's got to be thinking, not globally, I guess, but galactically, and thinking about my mission isn't now to have Grogu just survive. My mission is to show him a galaxy worth living in, and to help give him a galaxy worth living in.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, no, and again, great point going back to season 1. I can't wait to explore that myself of just where he was, Din Djarin at that time.
Yeah, and people are saying lots of great things about season 3 in the comments, and I can't wait to get back to season 3 as well. I do want to grab this thread from the chat before we move on in our trailer discussion of a distrust for Colonel Ward. Brent Bum standing by says, rewatching season 3, when Din approaches Carson and essentially tells him, "You need us." I'm excited to see how that attitude rubs up against Colonel Ward. Do we think Sigourney can accept that ego without a few jabs? Amaranth also said something here about Colonel Ward. I think she has less straightforward motives. Distrust spreading in the chat. And how do you feel about that? Do you think Colonel Ward is a sort of mentor figure who is going to tell Din straightforward things that he needs to hear, or do you think there is something sketchy there?
There's no Ward, only Zool. I think maybe at one point, maybe she's the villain. With a lot of people commenting, and we've commented too, of like, we know there's Embo, we get the Hutts, but there doesn't seem to be a classic, straightforward baddie in a black Star Wars cape with a red blade or anything like that, So maybe she turns around. I got to be honest, I think it's a great observation, and I get where it comes from. I have not had 1 second of that. I think maybe just because I've been like, oh, Sigourney's in Star Wars. So I'm gonna I'm going to go into this film with my heart naive and trusting.
Yeah, that would be a really interesting twist. I love that Din goes around and makes friends with everybody. So it could be like, oh, he fights Embo, but he makes friends with Embos. Oh, he fights Rada, but he makes friends with Rada. In the end of the movie, it could be like, hey, it's me, Din, Embo, and Rada, and we're here to kick Sigourney Weaver's ass.
Could be.
It could be that. But where mine was going is also what Brent Bums just posted. The armor all over again. There is a thread in The Mandalorian and in who knows what life experiences from Jon Favreau that it maybe stems from, of didn't have different maternal figures, different mothers.
Yes.
I think we've talked a lot about his Book of Boba Fett episode is a tale of my two moms. The armor is telling him kind of one viewpoint of life. And oh my gosh, why am I forgetting the mechanic's name? You know who I'm talking about, though. Amy Sedaris. Pelimoto. And Pelimoto offering a different perspective. So it'd be interesting if Colonel Ward was in the collection of maternal figures and give him something, maybe balance that he needs. Yeah. Pelimoto. Yes. Thanks, everybody. All right. So moving along in the trailer, after all the stuff about protection, then we go to the real dark times, Ken. Mando and Grogu get separated. It seems willingly, as Mando is telling Grogu to go onto the Anzellan ship. We hear the ominous Hutt voice saying, "Mandalorian, you will suffer. Then it will be his turn." All sorts of flashes of separation, pain, and anxiety. So we've talked. They put this across in the trailer before this, but this one they really put it across. What for you is moving about this separation, about the fear of it, about this sort of like living without one another being at the heart of the film?
I think it raises the stakes in a wonderful way. It's, to me, can read and will be different than what we already saw in season 2, but that was traumatic too, right? Watching those Death Troopers or whatever they were. I can't remember now. You don't remember Pelimoto? I don't remember what kind of troopers. Whisking them off into Moff Gideon's capture there. So I think it's gonna be full of a lot of fear and a lot of doubt, not in terms of, to me, Grogu's survival, but just but maybe Din's survival, but just it's gonna be something deeper to rip them apart now at this point. But also knowing that maybe it has to happen, and Din has to let part of that happen, and how best to protect him could also mean, as I think we've seen, especially in season 3 and beyond, of preparing Grogu to take care of himself, and how hard that must be for Din at this point to not just say, "Oh, I've got to go save him," but we also might be racing towards a point where he can save himself, and that's a different game for me as his adoptive parent, so to speak. There, right? So I think that could be the emotional thrust behind the plot dynamic.
I love that. Gaz reminds us those troopers are called Dark Troopers. So we got Death Troopers, Dark Troopers. I'm looking forward to Despair Troopers at some point.
The pit of despair.
Yeah, I think I feel like this is the emotional heart of the movie, of them coping with their separation. I've gone on and on about, in season 3, we get the beginnings of Grogu facing his trauma. And I think he needs to face his trauma, his fear of separation. These are characters who came together partially because they're both foundling younglings, both orphaned by war. They know the pain of loss in being alone, and they are happy together and do not want to lose one another. So it is like their greatest fear is losing one another. And I love that in that what appears to be that section of the film, there's all this very deep and old, great Star Wars mythic imagery of the kind of places they are. Of Grogu is alone in the dark forest facing his fear. Mando has his helmet ripped off and is plunged into some dark bowel abyss with a horrible monster. It's also such a grand, big, mythic version of, I think, what we all get up often in the morning and face, of like, I have to go through the dark forest and believe that there will be discoveries and that I will survive and that I will be more complete and confident for facing the dark forest. and I'm just so excited for the very Star Warsy, real, relatable, um, so much of what's going on in the real world of like
Mm.
pointless suffering at the hands of evil egomaniacs. I mean, that line from the Hutt twin, Mandalorian, you will suffer, then it will be his turn. It's just like,
Mm.
this isn't just them, going through
It's,
day-to-day life. It is like,
yeah.
you did good things and you messed up our money machine and you're gonna suffer for it, and having them have to say no, we will survive.
Yeah.
We will thrive.
Yeah. I like that moment. I like the reading of it. It's just kind of this almost point of fact.
Mm-hmm.
He'll suffer real badly. You're next.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just Tuesday. It's what we do here in Hut Town.
It's just Tuesday in Hut Town. Finally, the trailer kind of comes home with this line that was new to this trailer that people have really responded well to, of Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, saying, "The old protect the young, and then the young protect the old." And after a montage of action, this is the way. Ken, we can all get a little, I think, get you. It's been 7 years, and this is the way. It's like, it's a complicated thing. It's a thing that is said
Catchphrase.
by.
Yeah.
It's a catchphrase. We can make it a jokey thing. There's plenty of debate about. In moments, it seems to have great honor and be in support of great things, and other times, it's the armor is like, said the words. Cultists, I'll repeat the words. There's a lot packed into "This is the way." So the old protect the young, and then the young protect the old, followed by "This is the way." What's moving to you about that on a personal level?
What is moving to me? I'll start with kind of where you kind of teed me up. Of it is a great catchphrase. It is something that's very much from the show and from the characters, and something that we're all familiar with now. And it's a warm, like, it's like hearing the music cue, and this is the way. Yeah, it works for me. But for to take that idea into a movie and expand upon it and look at it in a different way, while it's still having probably a lot of the same meaning, especially for Din, to have this, like, the circle, a positive look at the circle is complete, as opposed to the line that Vader said years ago, obviously. But yeah, like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, we let's take that. This is the way. Let's add something to it. Let's learn from that catchphrase, even now, as we go into a new era of Star Wars back in theaters, but also taking these characters there. It's not just a leaning on what was. It was like the lesson continues of what is actually the way.
Yeah, no, I really love that. I feel like Din has almost always used that phrase honorably, in my opinion. And again, the focus in those early episodes of every time he gets some Beskars, like, and of course some for the Foundlings, like, it's different that he adopts Grogu and he evolves and all that, but that focus from him of, my role is to make sure that young folks don't go through what I did, and that to me, being a Mandalorian means being there for the young. So I love that there's this sort of like deep core tradition of "This is the way," but then this new idea of like, and I have to accept that I'm not going to be here forever. And at some point, if I am successful, the student will become the master, the child will become the parent. And the thing, the thing that hit me, part of what I was a few minutes late because I just had to answer a quick question about it. I'm gonna visit the Midwest next week and be visiting my dad, and I'm very, very lucky that my dad's in great shape. Nothing wrong, nothing to worry about right now. He's doing fantastic. But we had the hard conversation a couple months back of like, so estate planning, like,
Right.
I've watched a couple folks go through the mess that modern life makes out of the amount of paperwork that comes with grief. And my dad and I had just a good talk about like, we should plan. So one of the reasons I'm going is to, help him plan. And it makes stuff like this hit extra hard, that like looking in the face of, we won't always be here together in this same way. And how can we be here for one another while accepting that we won't always be here in this same way?
It's heavy stuff. It absolutely is heavy stuff. And I just hope to God your dad didn't take one of those Tom Selleck loans like my parents did, so I have to take on that loan and pay the bank off in a certain amount of time if they both go. Different conversation. Thank you, Tom Selleck. Thank you, Tom Selleck. But
Is it reverse mortgage? Was that what it is?
It falls on me. It really, truly, actually does. It's nutty. It's nutty.
Yeah.
So, anyways, side note, jokes aside, you're touching on one of the reasons I am fully confident that this movie is going to hit. I don't mean that in terms of box office. I don't mean that in terms of the pop culture wars. I think you're still going to have it's just season 4 people. Did we really need this? Oh, they just kept saying this is the way. You're going to have all that. And I'm going to run headlong into that and want to punch everyone like I'm in a Maddie Gunner mosh pit. But I think this movie will hit beyond that. I don't think it will be this great. But you're talking about this emotional. You're reacting to it from a different angle. I'm a little older now. My dad is definitely older now. This line spoke to me. I got friends who are have parental issues or a lack of parents, and this line is speaking to them. Both in, wow, that's heartbreaking. I wish I had someone like that, but also, what can I do for others? Yeah, I just turned 50, and I'm now in the twilight of, it seems like it. I'm here for a while, but you start thinking about it, like. You start thinking about what's behind you. I don't have kids. I don't want kids. I got squirrels, a chihuahua, and a skunk, and a possum. I'll leave so much to them. But yeah, I think you're talking about an emotional through line that is being highlighted in the trailer that I think people are going to react to. Imagine if you're 7 and you're watching this movie and this little Grogu, you don't know Grogu's my age, your age. You don't know Grogu's an old baby. He's you. Grogu is you, and he's going on this adventure, and there's giant snakes and monsters, and your dad is yanked away from him, and you're on your own through a magical forest with some sort of guide going, oh, you should be afraid. Yeah, you should. You're going to react to that in such a wonderful way as you hold your parents' hands if you're fortunate enough to have them, or whoever's with you from your found family if you're going there. Imagine if you're also 32 and you have a 7-year-old, and you yourself are still trying to wrap your brain around, I'm the one in charge now. I've got this wonderful little soul to protect and go forward with. And this movie's going to hit on so many different angles just on this emotional theme. I think you're really touching upon the most important thing this movie's going to present. I really believe that.
I think so too. And I think there will be the inevitable box office spin war, because I think the numbers will be fine. They will be fine, and this movie will make its money back. And then there's going to be a spin war. And, I am more interested to see, does it punch through, I think, some of the apathy and the anger that it's easy to fall into in difficult times. I think we are in very difficult times, and I think it's easier. I'm not criticizing Maul or Andor. I think they are 2 of the best things that Star Wars has done, but they've got an edge to them. So in a way, they feel more comfortable during extremely difficult times when many of us are frustrated and angry. But I think the Mandalorian and Grogu film, like Star Wars did in 1977, are kind of, asking us to hope and daring to care and daring to enjoy cute things and funny things and heartfelt things along with the action. And I think it's going to be a really interesting study of how people react to the emotional core of the film.
Yeah, and I think this you're right there with this important thing that's emerged in every bit of marketing so far to me. Generational, generational exchange, like we keep saying.
Yeah, and great point that we're coming at it from our age and relationships with our parents, but you're right about the kids. I think this would affect me hugely if I was 10 and I was in Grogu's perspective. Kind of be like, yeah, I want to be just as competent as my dad. Oh God, I don't want to lose my dad.
Yeah,
And General Cameroni here echoes that. I'm none of the aforementioned ages, nor do I have any human or animal dependence. And this theme is even hitting me. The previous trailer where he said the kid will live centuries beyond me hit. Yeah, that's an extra great space fantasy twist of not just he'll live beyond me, like he's gonna live a lot beyond me.
Yeah.
So those are all the kind of the big picture ideas in the trailer, in my opinion, but also just like a lot of fun and action. So did you have a favorite moment or two in this trailer, Ken?
I guess yeah, I would be remiss if 2016 ForceCenter Ken did not mention the Y Wings that a lot of people are celebrating. Team Y Wing forever. Yeah, just one of those cool action shots. I'm excited to see the Phil Tippett Studios led stop motion sequence that we're kind of, I think, seeing glimpses of. There's a great shot, certain, up close Mando and Grogu at a speeder, kind of almost Sam Raimi-ish, vibes. I love everything I've seen so far. I think it's gonna scratch that itch of Star Wars fun. You're gonna want to run to the playground to see it. So I'm being pulled in by a lot of that, as well as the deeper stuff.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of great images. Like, I am a long-term fan of Embo.
Yeah.
He looks he looks like he's gonna be doing some rough stuff to characters we like. So it's fun to see Scary Embo. I can't wait to see him in full hat action. Hope he does some super great things and weird things with his hat. That's great. That I do like some of the comedy. I love the hey, are you okay? And in Grogu doing the snow sneeze.
Yep.
Fantastic. I love that the trailers are wearing their heart on their sleeve, that they're saying like, hey, remember, a big part of this is Grogu's real cute, and comedy has always been a part of Star Wars, and it's gonna be a big ingredient. So if you can't stand it, don't go.
Yep.
Grumps, bring your kids and shut up about it. Shut up about the cute.
Step aside.
The snake creature on Nel Hutta facing down Din is just like that's a poster image. It's just so mythic. And then also it's not a new shot, but that opening shot of Grogu meditating. I don't know. It's so much of Star Wars. Star Wars has all of this noise and weirdness and fun, and the action is exciting, and the bittersweet emotion is moving. But there's also this sense that, it's really there a lot of times in the original trilogy of remember, just take a deep breath, remember, connect to who you really are at your most zen. Who are you? And you'll be able to deal with all this sound and fury so much better if you can close your eyes, feel your heartbeat, reach out. It's just that scene of Grogu, cookie stealing, space flying, barfing Grogu, learning what Luke tried to teach him by taking him up and saying, hey, look at that beautiful nature. That's the Force too. And seeing him in the midst of that, taking a deep breath. That's the peace, the maturity of Star Wars too. So I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, love that. Love the I'm team bad baby and Zelen moment. Also lost. I meant to go look at this today. Am I crazy? The Anzellans have a little tiny ship, right? Is that what I'm seeing?
It certainly looked like it, unless there's some.
That's adorable.
Forced perspective. Maybe that's why Dennis Grogu's like, I won't fit on the ship.
I won't fit on the ship. They're like living, breathing Star Wars micro machines in the galaxy. All on board for that. I know some people are going to be cynical about that. So be it. Live action Zeb. We'll see more of him. Just a glimpse. And I know we've seen some stuff, him fighting some other stuff in the past, but I think it's an underrated aspect that we're going to spend more time with him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, so much just kind of classic Star Wars, from the ships to the myth to the comedy, and yeah, extremely excited to see, as Maddie Warner says. Oh, sorry, jumped on me. The Anzellan mobile.
That's beautiful.
We won't spend too terribly long on this, but General Cameroni says, I've seen complaints about too many Anzellans, and I'm genuinely curious how you can be so miserable. An abundance of funny, cute things is a problem. Yeah, I mean I think that they're, hey, everybody has different tastes. I think Rise of Skywalker, I absolutely love and am deeply moved by, but I have to admit that it has some special magic that makes people angry, and I think the Anzellans are a part of that. But I also do feel like what I was saying before is I just kind of feel like we are all understandably very agitated, and I think some people go, okay, well then I need hope and I need comedy and I need to be reminded of the good things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for some people, the cute comedy of the Anzellans is broad and cute in a way that I think is uncomfortable when you're in a really angry place.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense to you, Ken?
100% makes sense. Let's all forget when they showed up in Mando season 3, there was film journalists, straight up journalists, not YouTube and influencer types like us and friends and everything. We know they were film journalists like beware, the rehabilitation of the sequels is starting. Everyone's going to start thinking these guys are cute. Next, they'll be loving these movies, especially Episode 9, which we all agreed we hate, right? And I just don't give into those snark merchants. Don't give into the smarmy. Oscar Isaac, let me ask you about this quote this line from a movie that everyone makes fun of you for. How do you feel? Don't buy into that stuff, man. I'm really ready to fight against that more and more these days. That doesn't mean everything is perfect. It doesn't mean that I think that line's the greatest line in Star Wars. It's just like this is just such a smarmy snark marketplace for a lot of these folks, and I think that was one of the moments in Mando season 3 for me where there's like, oh, here we go. Next thing you laugh at this, you're gonna like the Phantom Menace. See, get out of here.
Yeah. A couple quick thoughts and then we'll move on. And part of the reason I want to spend time with it is I had a knee-jerk reaction of like, bad baby, horrible baby. Really funny to me, but I had an oh no reaction to it because I knew that it would make many people go bleh. So this is helping me process. Advan 046 it says I never liked the Minions, and the Anzellans are getting close to that vibe for me. Yeah, to me, no harm, no foul. If it's like there's some comedy beats in Star Wars that are just like, hey, everybody else enjoyed. That's not for me. I'm not going to be hateful about it, but it doesn't work for me, and then I go on with my life.
Maddie connects them to the worm guys from Men in Black, which are AK. Those guys, I absolutely love those guys.
Yeah. And Amaranth says, I have repented my Ewok hate. I was a very jaded 10-year-old. Yeah, and I think, having lived through the Ewok fury and been a part of it as I got older, I think we're almost in a similar thing to the 80s where like the world was rough. So anything too cute or hopeful felt maybe a little like it was lying to you or talking down to you of like, okay, so the world's going to end in nuclear war and I probably shouldn't get candy at Return of the Jedi because it's going to be poisoned. And if we survive nuclear war, we're all going to die of, horrible diseases that the government is doing nothing about. In that context, Ewoks can feel like, what line of cutesy BS are you trying to pull on me? And I almost feel like some people are in a similar mindset that some of us lived through in the 80s of like, don't sell me cute like it's a solution to things like this jaded place.
Don't sell me hope like it's a solution. Don't sell me voting like it's a solution. Yeah, I get it. I feel it. I see it. I understand it. But I think it's they're a perfect counterpart. Where did I just see? Oh, yeah, General Cameron Money. It's not even like I like seeing things in sequels, but they are literally Grogu says aliens he can go on adventures with. They're perfect to give him a side story. But he also adds, I definitely like seeing things kind of in the sequels. Yeah, I think that's part of it. It's part of what I'm talking about. If you're 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10, you're sitting in a theater. You got this giant monster snake. You got these robots that Dad Din's got to fight. And you got these little guys going on this adventure with the little guy you're connecting with. Man, that is Star Wars magic.
And Ross Allen Burt here is, man, I was 5 years old in 83. Loved Ewoks, still do. Yep, that you can test people's exact age when Return of the Jedi came out by how big of a grump they were about the Ewoks back in the day. Also wanted to go back to Molly Damon saying about the Anzellan ship, the Anzellan mobile. It is indeed a tiny ship. They built models for the full ship and interior, complete with Apple Watch screens in the cockpit. It's so great.
That reminds me. Great. I think I owe Alex and Molly valet parking money. I'll have to get you guys come out here. I'll park you once, okay?
We're gonna talk a little bit about the posters as well, but I want to jump back. We got some super chats early on, and I want to be sure to highlight them. Scott McRae 551 says, 2 more fantastic ForceCenter deep dives on episode 3 and 4. Thank you so much. We had a ton of fun recording those. Our friend Molly Damon says, "Happy belated birthday, Ken." There you go. You got some cake money, Ken. And Narsgad says, "I have to revisit Die Hard 2." They said it at the striking Eero Serena designed Dulles Airport and then filmed at a generic concrete box complete with packed-bell payphones, which are rare in Virginia. It's I love people talking about films that were shot in places they know well. It's so fun. Obi-Wan Jacoby saying, as a Clone Wars fan, I love seeing an AT-RT and a STAP getting some attention. Yeah, true. The STAP is super cool. And Narsgad came back with another $2 to say, "Forget it, Din. It's Hut Town." Finally, Pimsel said, "Sadly, no real time to watch live, but hopped on to say hope Ken had a great weekend celebrating his birthday." Thank you all for the kind super chats. They really help us right now. So, Ken, if you could have another birthday next week, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. No, and everyone was really generous on my own channel, too, which is not, not going to fun stuff these days. We're all struggling. So we appreciate it here at ForceCenter, too, as we continue to fight forward in this landscape. But we appreciate you all. And I did have a great weekend. It was a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Ate a lot of bad things, and I'm not even 20% through the leftovers. Just
nice. Posters for Mando and Grogu. They also unveiled many different posters for the different cinematic formats. Share the article link with you, Ken. Did you have a favorite, and if so, why?
Did I have
look at them?
Yes, I'm scrolling down to them. Yes, I did. My favorite is absolutely the one that's just Mando, the perspective of, is it Mando? Do you take it as Mando looking out at Din, or is it Din looking into an empty helmet that is shaped like a Mando helmet? I just like, I like the shot of Grogu.
I take it as Din vision, seeing Grogu peer into the helmet, which is just fantastic. Yeah, the one for Dolby Cinema. That to me is hands down like, ooh, that's a put it on the wall kind of thing.
It just, it has great teaser vibes. A little, the Phantom Menace teaser poster is great. The other ones are all wonderful. They all have kind of like collect them all trading card vibes, which is not a bad thing at all. In fact, I hope they release them as trading cards. I'm getting to open up in a pack. But that one's just so unique. Just like it captures what so many people feel about the relationship of these two characters.
Yeah, the just the classic cute thing with Armor Daddy.
Yes.
For lack of a better term. Yeah, there was another one I liked, but that one's just so far and away. Yeah, no, nothing can touch that. But there's a general one, or for Fandango, where it's the snowy look. Din is facing away, and Grogu is almost looking at the camera and waving. It almost seems like a paparazzi photo where like Din is like, "No, Grogu, that's TMZ. Don't wave at them."
Yeah, because every other one is hands. He's doing "baby, do your little force thing" hands, but that's the only one that's like, "Hey, how you doing? We're going in. My dad and I are on a mission.
We're on this red carpet on this snow planet. Great stuff." All right, so we have taken a great look at, a fun look at Mando and Grogu, the trailer, the poster. Any thoughts before we move on to our last bit of news, Ken?
Nah, just a lot of fun. I'm not saying it was a surprise drop because there was CinemaCon was going on and everything, but it was a pleasant thing at the end of the week, and I think it's a great trailer. I'm hyped for the film. Have been for a while. I know not a lot of folks aren't hyped, and for like fair reasons, not the snark merchants out there, but there's some folks that just, hey, maybe it hasn't moved the needle yet, and I totally get it. Hope you give it a chance, and we'll see. And, again, I'm gonna go in the theater and see. I don't pre-love things. Quite frankly, I get a little more nervous when I sit in the theater for the first time to see something and hope it hits and all the things I wanted to hit. But this trailer kind of was a good final push for me in my heart.
Yep. For me, it's just I scanned all the thousands of quotes that Favreau has given in different interviews and lots of interesting stuff. Didn't pull them all to discuss, but it has also just been a reminder of the guy knows how to tell a story, and I think he has a great sense of fun and he has a great sense of depth, and that's what I want from this film. So I'm really excited for it. Speaking of excitement, we have Star Wars Celebration tickets going on sale soon. As if we all didn't have enough to write down in our calendars, Star Wars Celebration tickets go on sale May 6th at 12 p.m. Pacific. Adult 4-day tickets are listed at $260.99. with single day tickets marked at $91 for Friday through Sunday. Many other prices. One thing to note is that there will be no major panels on the Celebration Galaxy or Twin Sun stages on Thursday. Because Thursday single day tickets are slightly cheaper at $76. So, Ken, a brutal reminder that Celebration is very expensive.
Yeah. Why would there not be anything on the stage? What?
On Thursday?
On Thursday?
Because I bet they're going to be directing people to go to the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art, is my guess.
Okay.
There's going to be a field trip vibe.
Andy Kaufman taking everyone to Milk and Cookies after the Carnegie Hall. Okay.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Yep. So, Ken, how are you feeling about Celebration, this upcoming one, but as an event in general, about it being in our home city this year? Big picture feelings about this.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. I was just talking about it last week with some friends. I'm very excited. The realities of the pricing, just where I am in my life and where we are as a show, or just the world is. It's a little tough. It's a little tough. Those VIP prices I saw. It is what it is, I guess. But I'm definitely. You and I are blessed that it is in our own backyard, so we understand that has a little bit of built-in privilege to it. So at least even if somehow we don't get tickets and don't go, we'll be around. But I'm excited. I was talking about some friends this week, and a lot of excitement for just a chance to celebrate something together again.
Yeah, I think it is. Celebration is largely, in my personal experience, a celebration. People are happy to be there and happy to celebrate Star Wars. And with the 50th anniversary, I'm excited that there's a celebration, to have a celebratory attitude. Obviously, they're doing the re-release of A New Hope. Will be right on the doorstep of Starfighter coming out. So it will be a real upswing time for Star Wars. Who knows all the different things that are going to happen for the 50th anniversary. And we're lucky and privileged that it's here. But it's also, I'm excited for people to come see Los Angeles and appreciate it. So I talk with folks all the time. There are a lot of people who move here for a reason, but don't like the city or tolerate it. And I love this city, and I think it has a lot to offer. And I think there's a lot of misunderstandings about it, or people experience it quickly and just do a lot of driving down hot streets and don't get out and experience. And it feels like there's something kind of going on in concert with Lucasfilm and with some better mass transit situation coming, easy access to the Lucas Museum, that I think there's a possibility that this could just kind of be a good celebration of the city, which deserves to be celebrated, in my opinion.
Yeah. The synergy there. Obviously, George would be happy about it. I think he wants turnstiles to click at the old museum. But George, we're going to tie this to Star Wars Celebration. Let me put on a different pair of sweatpants. I'm with you. And yes, I'm with you. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm trying to remove some of my. I'm not trying to be a cynic merchant on the location of it itself. It's not Anaheim, is what I think, for people who it's going to be a little different vibe. You have to find the pockets of fun with the people you love, and so that's going to be there. But it's there. There's a great El Cholo Mexican restaurant around the corner, and that's where I will probably be.
That's true.
Most of the convention.
That is very true. Man. There's some great places downtown.
Yes,
the Last Bookstore. Come on.
Yep.
Rock Bottle Art says, assuming we get tickets, this will be my wife and my first celebration and my first time visiting LA. That is so great. So great.
It's a great city. It's truly a great city. And yes, truly a great city. I'm currently seeing it through the eyes of someone who has just moved here from another state. And it's been refreshing to have her be like, there's that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that because I'm here.
Yeah.
It's been fun. It's a great city.
It's an embarrassment of riches, particularly if you love the history of entertainment. But whatever you love nature, we can do a Descanso field trip.
Yep.
Maddie Warner says, I just want to see my friends. I don't really care for the convention side anymore, and I do love LA. Yeah, I'm very excited for the announcements, and I hope that we get basic tickets, and I hope we can manage to get in the big panels. It's fun to be in the big panels. It's some of my favorite Star Wars moments in
Mhm.
McDermott roll it again in Chicago.
Yeah.
Being there in London when Daisy Ridley walked out to announce the film that may or may not happen, but I hope does.
Yep.
Those moments are really, really fun. But I am also find myself thinking less about what are they going to announce, and what famous people will walk on stage, and more about just being there and looking for action figures with the beer in my hand and bumping into
Mhm.
folks and talking to them, and that's
Yep.
the most powerful to me.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. So we kind of already asked this question, but answer this question just now. But is there anything else that you are personally want to experience at the convention, or looking
Yeah,
forward to?
it will by this point have been 4 years since I was at a Star Wars celebration, and I want to do just what you described. In fact, our buddy Mark Ellis is making a point to just go as a fan for at least one day. He's like, I just want to walk that floor with a beer, man. That's the greatest feeling in the world, and that's what we were talking about this past week, and I'm with them on that. And yeah, it's seeing familiar faces and friends and connecting and everything, and that's a certain kind of energy, and the world's tough, and it's not going to get any necessarily easier by there, and coming to America if you're outside of it might seem like not something you want to do, and that's understandable too. I do think it's might be worth it, but easy for me to say, especially I just got to go down 3 freeways to get there. So, but it's truly what I miss from those things. What you and I talk about Anaheim is not the panel reveals all the time. McDermott, yes, all this stuff, yes, there is that, but it is the energy that we soak up and that we get to soak up. That's what I love about the Star Wars community and the Star Wars conventions.
Yeah, and that's the building where we met.
Yep.
So that we can have a little ForceCenter history.
Oh, it
too.
is. Was that? Yeah, that was LA Comic Con. It wasn't WonderCon, right?
Yeah, it was
right.
Stan Lee's Kamikaze back then.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, we should go through our memory banks and find the exact panel room, and then maybe someone can sneak a plaque in, and we'll put a plaque up on the wall on this day in 2014. Joseph Scripture and FSUC met after a panel.
Yes. Yeah, we can have a ForceCenter meetup there in a reenactment. All right, one final thing to talk about. They released a poster for Star Wars Celebration featuring a riff on the original Star Wars poster, and including LA landmarks. There's also some concern online about the poster being AI. Lucasfilm didn't credit the artist, but an artist on Instagram named Julian Rico Jr. posted that he was the artist alongside someone with the Instagram handle Dingy Dave 760. Real name appears to be David Ball. So that was what my internet research turned up. Ken, how do you feel about the poster?
I really like the poster. I think the conversation about was it AI and credited, all those things, I think is a reminder of where we are, and that hopefully some, because I personally don't remember a lot of the artists in the past being credited in a way that I saw, and I'm saying they weren't. It's not something that I paid attention to. But the fact that was conversation, just a reminder. Maybe if some of these big companies and some of these people that put on conventions or put things out there have to be aware of the time we are in and just get ahead of it, right? Just get ahead of it, because people want to know, and I think it's good that people want to know. I think it's good that we have a slop meter that kind of boop, 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 and I think they should celebrate the real creators.
Yeah, I mean, and I think regardless of the AI thing, it's pretty great to credit artists. I think.
Yes, and if if they hadn't done it on a level again that I didn't notice, I wasn't super paying attention, then hopefully that's also something going forward that happens. Credit people.
Be great. Yeah, I love I really love the composition of it. I really love the elements on it. I think for me, it is a style. It has a little bit of that sort of overly clean polish, which I think is one of the things that led to the question of like, hey, where did this come from? Did a human make this?
Yes.
So there's a little the patina that is not always my favorite style, but I love the composition. Yeah, I think it's so great to have the 50th anniversary, to have that tribute to that, iconic poster pose. And
that's great.
It's also just such a great, I love the Star Wars and the Hollywood sign. But like there's a thing that I get really entertained by, of like the standard various images that will pop up in a montage of LA. and I think it's like they should all come with an asterisk of like, these are hours and hours apart from one another. You know, you are not going to jump from the Santa Monica Pier to the Capitol Records building without losing a part of your soul. And people visit LA and they just go, I'm going to go to the 5 establishing shots I saw in Californication. And that's why they don't love LA, because they just spend time driving.
I'm sure, and so I'm so glad you went there first, because you know, I don't want to be grumpy about it, because this is I'm trying to be better about this, but like Santa Monica isn't even LA, it's its own city. Burbank, it's its own city. We have our own mayor, who is my cousin actually. Glendale's its own city, so I'm like, that's not even LA, kids. And then I have a lot of folks like, oh, when I get to town, should we meet up at that Scum and Billy Cantina? You're not going to be even near it. Downtown LA is another world. I haven't been into downtown LA in like 6 years. Like, what are you doing? Like, yes, but that's just. And again, I'm seeing LA through the eyes of someone new now, who's like, "Oh, you want to go out to dinner in this city?" And I'm like, "That's not even Southern California. That's. I don't go there. That's another country." It's like, what are we doing? I think it's funny. But this was the conversation I had with our buddy Mark. He was just like, problem is LA Convention Center is just bad for conventions in terms of everyone coming down onto something. But it's going to be hard because hotels go on sale next week too, right?
Probably.
Hotels go on sale. Yeah, they do. That is effed. Like that is a scramble. So it's got to be. So I'm just trying to say it from folks. You're gonna have to put together a different trip. I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, one of those days we might go down to Disneyland." No, you're not. No, you're not. Don't do it. That's a different thing. Anyways, but that's us. That's us.
Yeah. And look, 8984M says what's important.
No,
takes the expo lines, bub. The public transportation in LA is
getting better.
It's far better than the jokes, and that location is a hub, and it is relatively easy. I think people should have the expectation that it will take them a long time. But it's going to be a totally reasonable public transit trip from the convention center to Hollywood, and you're going to walk a few blocks, and Scum and Villainy is going to be packed, and it should be. You just got to have the thing of like, it's not as efficient as say like London, but it's doable. But you also need to know what you're getting into, and you should go with friends, and you should embrace it, not think it's going to be a quick.
And Brady, there is a pathway to staying in Universal and taking a 30-minute metro right to the front door of the convention center that is extremely convenient. So there is some possibility. Welcome to another episode of The Californians. As Mumbo Jimbo said, Joseph and I will be your guides through a city that has great things and dark corners all wrapped into one beautiful street.
And we got another super chat where Bill the Force is related. I love Pamela Adlon in Californication. Yes, the voice of Rena Soul in Maul, star of Californication. So Ken, we've unlocked super chats. You need to have more birthdays. I need to bring up Californication.
That's it.
Last thing I want to say is just kind of a personal thing about the Star Wars poster of one of the icons that gets featured a lot for LA. I live very close to, which is the Capitol Records building. It's the building that looks like it was a stack of records with the spire that's a needle on top, which wasn't even the architect's intent. The Capitol Records wanted a weird building, and this architect was like, got 5 of them, pick one. And they're like, that one. And then everybody's like, clever, you built a record stack. And like, anyway, I love that. I was very familiar with that, being a fan of Frank Sinatra, and lots of images of that building on records, in record sleeves. And it was like one of the things of moving here. It's obscured now because they built the building, but I used to be able to see it out my window. And thinking of like myself at about 20 in North Minneapolis, really wanting to get out and explore the world, being frankly real lonely in that time of my life, listening to Frank Sinatra albums with the Capitol Records on them and playing Star Wars video games late at night, to see a poster where Darth Vader is floating over the Capitol Records building, and to see those loves come together, and to see it be a poster that is all about community and people coming together to have community in a specific place. It really hit me on a personal level, and I'm excited for the people who are going to be able to come here and join us in his city and have some community.
Absolutely. But we're going to have that. Well said. And I'm going to step on that a little bit, Joseph, because Addy, super chat. Kat, if I can go to Disneyland from San Diego, sure, you can go from downtown. Don't go from San Diego to Anaheim. Don't do it. Don't do it. What are you doing? Don't do that. You're adding 3 hours to your life one way you don't need to add. That's what I keep telling people. Like, no, you don't need to be in your car for an hour. Go move there. Then Brady says, be careful the night bus. Yes, be careful. Also, Everett says, it's just that the LA area is real spread out. No, this is the conversation. It's spread out. Every pocket is a different kind of community, and you might not want to be around those people. I don't like people from Venice, so I don't go hang out in Venice. And people don't like people like me in Burbank. I get made fun of all the time. Oh, you're in Burbank, suburbs. I'm like, yeah, we got parking, and I can. And the police answers my calls in under 4 minutes, other than the 15 in your city. That is. I was having this conversation this week because this person I'm dating is like, I don't get it, because where I'm from, Dallas, we would drive an hour to meet, and I'm like, it's not the distance, it's the people, and it's different communities. Like, I don't go to the Inland Empire because they all have red hats on, and I don't want to be around them. Like, that's part of my trepidation too. And downtown it's a different breed, man.
I do think it adds to the sense. I understand what you're saying. I don't entirely agree with the vehemence. I like going to Venice, and nobody's been mean to me in Venice. It's dirty. Beautiful. They're dirty. Beautiful in Venice.
Take a shot.
I'm not hanging out in the skate park, but I'll watch from afar. But I think it is a part of the travel. Is it's distance, it's time, and it is you're traveling to sort of like, it doesn't feel like you're in the exact same city because the different places have different vibes, and you got to be in the headspace for that. Of like, I want to go to a different vibe. I don't think I'd ever move to Burbank. My wife wouldn't let me because it gets too hot in Burbank. I love visiting Burbank. The parking in Burbank, fantastic. There's no parking in Hollywood. Burbank. Oh my God! It was slightly difficult to park at your house because you had so many friends over Ken. Like, this is bullshit parking for Burbank.
It is.
I had to park 3 houses down instead of right in front of your house. Bullshit.
Addie, get off the train. No, the train. Oh, the train is you going to Comic-Con, take the train? No, because there could be an earthquake and I need to get my car and go. I'm not going to wait for a train. You're getting into my anxieties.
So consternated. We're getting money for it. Eddie has a super chat. But Ken, I did it.
You shouldn't have.
I went to Disneyland from San Diego and from Irvine. You can do it.
Oh, from Irvine.
San Diego Disneyland.
I haven't set foot
the train.
I haven't set foot in Irvine since 2005 when I went to meet a friend who lives out there.
I'm spending real money to argue with you about this.
That's great.
At my party, is great, Ken, says
at my party, Joseph, one of my good friends, Tim Blaney, very talented voice. He was voice of Johnny Five in Short Circuit. He was Frank the Pug in Men in Black. Old Growling's buddy of mine. He was at the party. I have not seen him since 2007. Because he lives in Santa Monica.
I get it. But I mean,
I know it's weird to people.
But if you compare, there's also the living here versus traveling here for special events, right?
Oh, yeah. You all get in the bus with Brady, go around town, because I truly love this city. I'm doing a stand-up act right now. I'm doing a Amaranth says the train is great. Not in L.A. It's better. It's getting better. Not in L.A.
It is getting better. Anyway. Hey. Welcome to the next year of ForceCenter, everyone.
L.A., right? L.A., right?
I'm going to try to convince people to come to my neighborhood, go to Amoeba.
Great. You have a great neighborhood.
Fantastic neighborhood.
Neighborhood. I told someone recently, I said, if you were going to move to Hollywood, this is the only section you should move.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah.
All right. Love y'all. Y'all take what you want. Y'all take what you want.
And meanwhile, there's a separate, very kind super chat conversation about Capitol Records building. Narsgad said, first he said, The Beatles have an iconic Capitol Records photo. Uh, Apparently, it's Capitol Records. And then just now, and now I'm learning that it's not Capitol Records.
That's a great adventure.
So, a
Oh,
mystery.
it was a journey.
Well, Ken, we've
Love
talked
it.
about the emotional importance of the old and the young and birthdays,
Yes.
angry transit in Los Angeles. What more is there to talk about? I think we're done.
We got tickets on sale, and a lot of people are buying tickets for the movie too, right? I think that's the only thing.
Yes,
I got to do
yes,
that too.
yes.
I can't right now, but I will.
Yeah, no, I got some tickets. It was very fun to remember. Like, kind of had a routine down those
Mhm.
years where there was 5 films in a row, but got some tickets for myself and my wife.
Mhm.
Going to see it at Grauman's, storied theater for Star Wars, and at the Disney-owned theater El Capitan.
Love it. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out my plans, but
Yeah,
I'll be seeing it, obviously.
good.
As long as I don't have to travel far. As long as I don't have to travel far.
Ken, I got you tickets in Venice. They're projecting it on the beach.
I'll tell you off air about a date I almost had in Santa Monica that did not happen because it was in Santa Monica. I love it all. Thank you for coming to a sketch today. Today was just me doing a sketch character. I love you all. Can't wait for you all to see the city. It will be fun. Seriously, it will be fun.
Oh, and Narsgat, whew, the photo that the Beatles are in, EMI's HQ in England. Mystery solved. We can
Mystery
go home.
solved. Mystery solved. All right, that's it, Joseph. Joseph, thanks for getting us through it, and also thanks for Joseph for being the reasonable one about travel in LA. Follow him for travel tips as I just sit in my house and go, nope. You guys can have a lot of fun in 2027 and beyond. And anytime you come in here, hang out in LA, great city, all parts of it, LA County. That is it. Tomorrow, deep dives. We're going to be looking at episodes 5 and 6 of Maul Shadow Lord. Just spectacular stuff. But not just because it's we're not have fun discussing what we loved in it. I think what it was saying and what it meant and the action and Maul practicing and getting in the mood to villain was amazing. So
Yeah,
that's that. Don't forget, if you want, you can find us as a podcast. If you're not already there, on Sundays we re-release episodes of Databank Brawl. Check that out. Also, you can support us directly at patreon.com/ForceCenter. Get into our Discord and continue to yell at me. If you think going from Scum and Villainy to downtown is a good thing, yell at me. Get in there. Get in there. Yell at me. And also, you can check our merch spots. Also, support us on our own things, if you will. My website, kennapsack.com. Get to my Patreon. Catch me on the blathering, which I just yell like this all the time. That's the show. Me going, no. No, it's a lot more. It's a great community around it that I love and value. So that is that. Addy will come on the blathering. It will. Follow Joseph too. Joseph, you got films up on your YouTube channel right now. Short films that you've made and released.
that is right. My YouTube channel, you can just search for Joseph Scrimshaw on YouTube. I put out several short films, including The Narrator, starring the great Phil Lamar, a couple of horror shorts, and this Thursday, I'm putting out a new horror short that I just finished called Victim 7. I think it's about some of the things that many of us are frustrated by in life these days, and I think it's a cathartic horror movie. So I will be posting about that everywhere on all my social media. You can find me at Joseph Scrimshaw.
There we go. That is it. So, for all the bus drivers in LA who are about to get a lot of ForceCenter fans, we'll see you next time here on ForceCenter.